Hello, my name's Chris Bass. I'm a Professor of Applied Entomology here at the Cornwall campus of the University of Exeter. In this short video, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the research that we conduct and explain how that directly informs the education and teaching of the undergraduate community here at Exeter. So first, a little bit about me. Professor of Applied Entomology means I spend most of my time studying insects. So there are more than 1 million insect species on our planet. They represent 90% of all animal life. So there's a lot that we don't know about insect species. But we work on two main groups of insects in the lab. The first are insects that pollinate plants. These are things like bees. And we try and understand how they tolerate or do not tolerate the chemicals they encounter in their environment, including things like chemical insecticides. The second group of insect species is actually the opposite. So we're trying to control insects that cause damage to humans or the crops that we grow. So we work on a number of different species, in this case trying to understand how they evolve resistance to the controls, so things like chemical insecticides, and how we can take that knowledge and use it to prevent, slow or overcome resistance. So that research we do feeds into the teaching that we deliver. So I co-deliver a module called Applied Insect Ecology. In this module, we try and give undergraduates a taste of the really remarkable life of insect species and the really vital role that they play and the benefits they bring to humans and the environment. So the module itself is structured around the ecosystem services that insects provide. So these are the benefits to humans or the environment. We start by talking about the role of insects as pollinators. So more than 75% of the crops that we grow require insect pollination. Things like bees play a critical role in ensuring crop yield and crop production. And we delve into the biology of these species and try and understand how they communicate within communities, how they find plants and pollinate plants. Then we move on to groups of insects that are the minority really of insects that cause damage to humans or the crops we grow. For example, things like mosquitoes still cause more than 200 million cases of malaria each year. We discuss how these species are controlled, including the use of chemical insecticides, and we have an open debate actually on how this should be done and whether the use of insecticides is right, has benefits, or can lead to environmental damage. So that really allows us to delve deep into that topic. We then move on to the role of insects in decomposition and nutrient cycling. So animals and plants produce a huge amount of organic matter as waste, and insects play a key role in ensuring that that material is recycled. So we talk about a variety of insects, the adaptations they have to fulfill this function. For example, things like dung beetles, which are the strongest animal relative to their size on the planet. We also talk about how these particular groups of insects can be used as indicators to help solve crimes. So we spend time talking about the role of these insects and their use in forensic entomology. We then move to the role of insects as food. So many people don't realise that insects are a very sustainable source of protein and how perhaps humans can come to accept that and utilise that more. Then we finish the lecture by talking about the role of insects in art and culture. For example, we talk about the role of insects in producing silk, so the silk moth, the fact that there are no wild populations of this moth that exist in the world. They're all entirely domesticated, and they played a key role in history, for example, through the Silk Road. So that's how we cover the module. As well as lectures, we deliver it by practicals, so we get get undergraduates into the lab, and we talk to them about the insects. They get hands-on studying them. They're asked to do a fact sheet about an insect of their choice. We also have debates, for example, the use of neonicotinoid insecticides. And we have something called Dragon's Den, where we ask the undergraduates to come up with their own ideas for a commercialisation of a product based on insects. So previous students have come up with, for example, a cereal range, Beetle Bix, Cheerwigos and Lice Krispies from memory. So in addition to the modules that we deliver, we also get to involve undergraduates in our research in their final year research project. So this is much longer in duration. It's an independent research project carried out by the student in typically their third year, and they develop a project with a supervisor and carry out that project in the lab. So in my case, these projects usually involve insects in some shape or form, and previous students have, for example, looked at the conservation of beetles, rare beetles in Cornwall, or done genetic studies understanding why insects are certain colours and not others. And this is really beneficial. So as academics, we get to benefit from the interest and excitement of the undergraduate and develop research that can lead to publications, but also teaches the students realistically what life in research is like. So I hope that's been a short summary that's been useful to you to understand how our research at the university impacts the education of undergraduates. I believe it helps make it really contemporary, cutting edge, and as academics we really benefit from our undergraduate community in our research. So I hope to see perhaps some of you at the university in the future, and bye for now.